What's going on, everyone? Today is August 11th of 2023. Today being the 223rd day of 2023, and in today's video we'll be discussing the wildfires that broke out this week in Maui, Hawaii. These fires were allegedly caused by winds from Hurricane Dora. On this channel, we talk about the language of Gematria, which is a secret number lettering system. When compared with dates on the calendar, this system brings into question a lot of the events that we see play out through the mainstream. We start with the alphabetic order, which numbers every letter 1 through 26. This cipher can be either reversed or reduced to produce different but related numbers. This reduction method, also called Pythagorean gematria. And Dora will be a focus of this video. Notice how the name Dora is what we call a supermatch with the word fire. You get the same values of 38, 70, and 25. This fire occurred during the time of Leo, which is a fire sign. And Leo is the only sign on the zodiac that's ruled by the sun. And shout out to the chat for reminding me that Lahaina, Hawaii, where these fires primarily occurred, translates to cruel sun. Now, there are many wildfires in the United States, but every so often these events come under scrutiny by the public for possibly being unnatural. Over the past several years, I've made 2 videos on such events. The Woolsey Fire from 2018 and the Saddle Ridge Fire in 2019, both of these happening in California. The Woolsey Fire even began on November 8th, which was the same exact date as the Camp Fire, which was the deadliest and most destructive wildfire in the state's history. Now, both of these fires were what we call numerical riddles for the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who was elected just 2 days before the Woolsey and Camp Fires, and then turned 52 years old on the same date as the Saddle Ridge Fire. This was his first birthday while in office. In reduction gematria, Saddle Ridge sums to 52. So does Gavin Newsom, and so does California. And this Saddle Ridge Fire on October 10th happened on Gavin Newsom's 52nd birthday. So this was a topic of my video from back in 2019. Now, 52 is a significant number to the circle, and we'll be talking a lot about circle numbers as this video goes on. Think about the number 88 being 4 circles. Hawaii is home to the 808 dialing code, and these wildfires were first sparked on August 8th, or 8/8. This Saddle Ridge Fire from California is also connected. Notice how Saddle Ridge also equals 88, just like California, 88. You may recall that the number 808 popped up in a big story with Hawaii several years ago when a false alarm was sent to residents of the state, alerting them of an inbound ballistic missile. And 808 was an interesting time to send this alert because in Gematria, false alarm sums to 88. Now, the current governor of Hawaii is a big part of this week's riddle. Notice how Josh Green has gematria of the 88th prime number. We'll talk more about him, but what's interesting is that Josh Green was on vacation when he signed his emergency declaration, so he wasn't even in the state. This means that the acting governor was Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke. And curiously, I did a video last week on the death of an acting governor in New Jersey, Sheila Oliver, who was running the state for Phil Murphy on vacation. So perhaps if you're living in a state with an acting lieutenant governor, this could be a bad omen for the territory. Now, this Saddle Ridge Fire that broke out in California, again, this was on Gavin Newsom's 52nd birthday, and we talked about the importance of that number. But this Woolsey fire, which again was sparked the same day as the Camp Fire, the big deadly fire, causing 85 deaths, billions of dollars of damage, this was a very, very intriguing date. Now, in Gematria, I also teach two primary extended methods. You may recognize the standard cipher as being the current 26-letter alphabetic order, but I think the Latin, or Agrippa's key method, is actually more significant. However, they tend to work together with one another. In these methods, the word death sums to 118 and 218, and both of these fires, all of these fires, caused widespread death. Now look at the date that these began. 11/8 of 2018, just like the Camp Fire. 11/8, 2018. Numbers connected to death. What makes this so outrageous is that the state of California was founded on September 9th of 1850, meaning if you measure from September 9th of 1850 to the date of the Woolsey and Camp Fires in 2018, you find that the state was exactly 2018 months old. And again, this was in the year 2018 on 11/8. All connecting to significant numbers of death. So, similarly, this week's wildfires in Maui are connected to Hawaii's Governor Josh Green. And think a little bit more about the name Green in light of how much greenery had to burn up in his home state this week. Gavin Newsom was born in the year 67. The current acting governor of Hawaii, Sylvia Luke, was also born in the year 67. And when you measure from their birthdays, you find that these two were born a span of 67 days apart. On the date of the wildfires in Sylvia's state, Gavin Newsom was a span of exactly 670 months old. Now, in the state of California later this year in October, the state will see an annular solar eclipse. Now, it just clips the corner of the state, but it's there nonetheless. And if you measure from the date of the wildfires to the date of this eclipse, notice how you get 67 days. In the language of Gematria, Maui wildfire sums to 67. So does Maui, Hawaii, in reverse reduction. 67 is a number we commonly see connected to death. Viewers of my work understand this. The phrases blood sacrifice and human sacrifice both sum to 67. The phrase human sacrifice also sums to 248. And this week's wildfires, August 9th, the emergency declaration date, fell 248 weeks after the Woolsey fire, exactly, and was also the 248th day that Josh Green was in office. So, another part of this video, we'll talk about how these fires were caused by Hurricane Dora, and how this is actually a numerical riddle connected to Dora the Explorer through the number 666. Now, if you're new to this channel, this might sound ridiculous, but I assure you, the synchronicity I will uncover in this video is just like any other of one of my nearly 700 videos that I have on this channel, using the exact same measurement techniques and Gematria ciphers every single time. Now, in the year 2019, between the dates of the Woolsey and Camp Fires and the Saddle Ridge Fire, Dora the Explorer returned to television after 5 years and aired 6 final episodes, with the last one airing on August 9th, the same exact date that Josh Green signed a declaration of emergency for the Maui wildfires. Now, why is August 9th so interesting? Well, on the calendar, August 9th is the 221st day of the year. And using the reverse cipher of Gematria, Dora the Explorer sums to 221. Now, in reduction, Dora the Explorer sums to 85. And the Camp Fire, the deadliest in California's history, killed 85 people. Now, we mentioned the name Josh Green and how curious that is in light of greenery burning up for this wildfire. In ordinal, wildfire sums to 86. The name green sums to 86 in reverse. 86 is also the ordinal value of 19. And at the end of this video, we're going to talk about how all of these wildfires are a riddle connected to COVID-19, which Gavin Newsom is numerically stamped with up and down. Measuring from the finale of Dora the Explorer in 2014 to the date that Josh Green took office was exactly 8 years and 6 months, syncing up with his name and wildfire. He also took office 183 days after the anniversary of the finale. Green's full name is Joshua Booth Green, which sums to 183 in ordinal. Now, we're going to explain how this is all connected to the number 666. But before we do, I want to dive a little bit deeper into this Josh Green riddle. Again, his name equals wildfire. This wildfire was declared an emergency 186 days before Green's birthday. Notice how governor of Hawaii equals 186. His name, Joshua Green, sums to 1086 in Latin. This is the same value in the same cipher as water, which is the opposite element of fire. The name Josh Green equals 200. If we were to use capital letters, this cipher, also based in the alphabetic order, but mixes capital letters in with small ones. The wildfires in Maui fell exactly 200 weeks after the Saddle Ridge fire in California. Now, this 200 weeks is also exactly 46 months, and the fires in Maui occurred mainly in Lahaina, which sums to 46, on August 9th, which is 46. This is a big sacrifice number, 46. But truly, what uncovers a lot of this is the kill code. Now, remember that Hawaii was the 50th and final state added to the Union. When you write out the number 50 as it's spelled, it sums to the 98th prime number. And 98 is one of only a couple of numbers that sums to its prime connection in Gematria. You'll see 98 sums to 521, the 98th prime. This state of emergency was declared on the 9th of August, or 9/8, by Governor Josh Green, whose name sums to 98. This wildfire fell 980 months after the attacks on Pearl Harbor. And when we get to this 666 riddle, you'll see how Pearl Harbor is very important. But August 9th is also written 8-9, usually in the United States. The word kill has gematria of 89, and in the base ciphers, the word kill is a perfect match with the island of Maui, both Maui and kill, 44, 64, 17, and 28. The wildfires started on a date with primary numerology of 59. Hawaii became the final state in the year 59, and in Latin the word kill equals 59. Also notice how Lahaina has matching gematria with kill as well. In ancient Hebrew gematria, the word for kill sums to 19 and 244, much like how 19 equals 244 in Latin gematria. The wildfires in Hawaii fell 244 days before the next total solar eclipse, which passes over the United States. Notice how Governor Josh Green and Joshua Green both have matching gematria of 244. Now, this is what carries us into our major 666 riddle that's going on with this story. Now, the satanic number 666, right? A lot of people believe that 666 is evil or somehow denotes the presence of Satan. But in reality, in truth, the number 666 is significant for its connections to the circle, the most fascinating shape in basic geometry. So let's explain this. First of all, notice how in Latin gematria, the word satanic has a value of 244. Also in reverse, satanic equals 122, which is half of that number. If you look through the digits of pi, pi of course resolves the mathematics of the circle. If you search for the string 666, you'll find that it first appears in the 2440th digit of pi. So this here represents the number 244, and there it is, 666. Notice how both mathematics of the circle and mathematical perfection equals 666. Hawaii's governor, Joshua Booth Green, also has an interesting name, because in Latin, his name sums to the 36th square number, and the 36th triangular number is 666, which is 3 sixes. So looking through pi, this is, of course, begins with 3.14. And Hawaii was originally famous for the attack on Pearl Harbor, which equals 314, a number connected to circles and eclipses, which both sum to 314. Now, the 314th prime number is 2083. And when you write out 666 in Gematria, it sums to 2083. So there's a huge connection with 666 and pi, as you can tell. Hawaii is one of just a handful of states that has Gematria of 666. Hawaii was the state that was responsible for pulling the U.S. into World War II, which sums to 60 and 66 in reduction. The attacks on Pearl Harbor fell 6,466 days before Hawaii was added to the Union. In the alphabetic order, 666 sums to 275. And this is an interesting number connected to time because 666 hours is 27.75 days, right? So this is a very significant number as well. Well, these wildfires in Maui were declared an emergency exactly 2,075 months after California was admitted to the Union. It was also 275 months after the debut of Dora the Explorer. And as mentioned earlier, these winds were caused by Hurricane Dora. Now, why is Dora the Explorer connected to 666? Well, the number 666 is first revealed as the number of the beast in the book of Revelation, verse 13:18. In the standard Gematria cipher, Dora the Explorer sums to 1318. And this will show you how Dora is connected to all three of these major fires, the Woolsey Camp, the Saddle Ridge, and the Maui wildfires. Dora the Explorer debuted 999 weeks or 6,996 days before the Saddle Ridge fire. The series finale fell 9 years and 66 days before the Maui wildfires. In Gematria, 666 equals 1197, while number of the beast has matching 174 Gematria with state of California. Notice how Dora the Explorer debuted 11,997 days after Gavin Newsom was born and ended 17,040 days after he was born. The Woolsey and campfires fell exactly 6,660 days after Dora's debut and 156 days after the anniversary of its finale. Now, that finale was also on the 156th day of the year. And 156 is the number that connects 666 in Gematria to the number 33. And you'll see 33 also sums to 66 and 60. The Maui wildfires fell 3 years and 303 days after the Saddle Ridge fire. And Hawaii, just one of, I believe, 3 states in reduction, that sums to 33. Both eclipse and circles, 33. Remember the deadliest wildfire, the Camp Fire on this mega death date for California. Camp equals 33, and that was the same day as the Woolsey fire. And Woolsey not only sums to 33, but also has matching gematria with 33 when you spell it out. Now, there's more to this 33. The 33rd prime number is 137. State of Hawaii equals 137. So does deadly wildfire. The governor's last name, Green, equals 137. Hawaii, 137 with caps. And this brings us to the acting governor of Hawaii, Sylvia Luke. Sylvia Luke equals 137, the 33rd prime. And she's from South Korea, which also equals 137. There's even more to this, as Hurricane Dora sums to the 33rd triangular number, 561. Another major circle number is 50. And the reasoning is simple. When you write out circle in ordinal, you get a value of 50. The letter that's a circle is the O, and in 2 gematria ciphers, Latin and Satanic, the letter O sums to 50. Sylvia Luke, the acting governor of the 50th state, was born on a date with a life lesson number of 50. Both Maui, Hawaii, and wildfire equal 50. Now, this brings us to another connection to the number 666. Earlier, we talked about Revelation 13:18. Well, Revelation 13:18 is the 229th verse of Revelation. And the number 229 is the 50th prime number. Notice how Saddle Ridge equals 229. And when the Saddle Ridge fire occurred, California turned 2,029 months old 1 day earlier. On top of that, the Maui fires occurred 9,022 weeks after California was founded. 666 revealed as the number of the beast in the book of Revelation, and Revelation equals 1010. Gavin Newsom was born on 1010, the same date as the Saddle Ridge fires. And the date 1010 is the 283rd day of the year. This is huge. 666 equals 2083, as we highlighted earlier. And when you write out 603 as it's written in the King James Bible, this has matching 313 gematria with Gavin Christopher Newsom, his full name. And think about revelation of Christ, Christopher, Gavin Christopher Newsom. In Hebrew, Jesus translates to Yeshua, and the English translation of Yeshua is Joshua, which is the name of Hawaii's governor. All of these, Revelation, 666 riddles. All right, so there's more with Josh Green. His name sums to 47 like beast. And the 47th prime number is 211. 666 in reverse equals 211. And Josh Green was born on 211. So he, just like Gavin Newsom, is coded up and down with these numbers. So let's touch on how coronavirus is tied into these wildfires. And it makes sense, right? Because the corona is the name for the atmosphere of the sun. The sun associated with fire, just as it is during the sign of Leo, the fire sign ruled by the sun, which we're currently in. Now, back in 2020, long before the vaccines were even heard of, I did a video explaining how coronavirus was the biggest 666 riddle of all time. And this video is linked in my blog post, which is linked in the description below. So, to understand this, let's talk about Gavin Newsom, right? 1010 of 67. In Gematria, when you write out COVID-19, it sums to 1010 and 67, just like his birthday. Furthermore, COVID-19, 1010 and 850, these are the same numbers as Revelation. Revelation, 1010 and 950. And this is so relevant. Think of how many people COVID-19 woke up to the control system they live under. Now, the COVID pandemic was originally declared a global pandemic on the 11th of March. March 11th is when the World Health Organization stepped in and declared a global pandemic. But it wasn't until 2 days later when Donald Trump declared a national emergency. That was on March 13th. And think about the date, March 13th, 313, right? 603 313, just like Gavin Christopher Newsom. So he's a massive central character of the coronavirus pandemic. And think about how California was the state that instituted some of the heaviest measures against COVID, the biggest lockdowns. The name Gavin Newsom sums to 56, just like coronavirus. Coronavirus pandemic equals 293. And when Donald Trump declared a national emergency, it was on the date leaving 293 days in the year. This date also had primary numerology of 56. Coronavirus 56, as well as Gavin Newsom. Now, in reverse, coronavirus equals 70. This number was discussed earlier. Dora and fire both equal 70. March 11th, the World Health Organization's date, that's normally the 70th day of the year. And this brings us to the Woolsey and Camp Fires in California, which again fell just 2 days after Gavin Newsom was elected governor. Those fires broke out exactly 70 weeks before March 11th, the pandemic date. Now, this date was also 491 days before Donald Trump. Sorry about that. Donald Trump declared an emergency. Now, 491 is the 94th prime number. And when you write out coronavirus pandemic, it sums to 94. We talked about the 293, but what about the 113? Well, think about this, the 11th of March. The World Health Organization pandemic date. This was all in the year 2020. Coronavirus pandemic 2020, just like Donald John Trump. 220. Operation Warp Speed is what got the vaccines out. That equals 220. And August 8th, the date that these fires in Maui started, the 220th day of the year. And remember, this was on the anniversary of Trump's Mar-a-Lago ranch being raided by the FBI. The Saddle Ridge fire, which happened on Gavin Newsom's 52nd birthday, this fell 155 days before Donald Trump declared a coronavirus emergency. Well, 155 is the number that coronavirus shares with Gavin Newsom. And now we have Hurricane Dora. Dora equals 155. So once again, this ties into the book of Revelation, and the book of Revelation has 404 verses in it, total. Maui equals 44 in ordinal. And remember, the word kill also has this 44. Kill summing to 89, like August 9th, the date of the declaration emergency. Well, when Dora the Explorer came out, acting Governor Sylvia Luke was exactly 404 lunations old. or synodic months. The Maui wildfires fell exactly 40 months and 4 weeks after Trump's COVID emergency. This is also 1,244 days. And that stands out big time because we are currently under lunation number 1244. This is the brown lunation, going back to 1923. 244 is also the Hebrew gematria of the word kill. Kill summing to 19. Think about COVID-19, 19 summing to 244 as well. So 666 is the number of the beast, and the beast equals 311. Dora the Explorer ended 301 weeks and 1 day before Trump's emergency. That's also 283 days after the anniversary, and there's that 283 again, 666. All circling back to the 283rd day of the year, which is 1010, and Gavin Newsom's birthday. All right, so we covered a lot in this video in the last 30 minutes, but I hope this helps you understand about this numerical matrix that's been constructed around us, which is clearly responsible for these disasters, and it all has a way of working out through symbolism and the words that we speak, and even TV shows like Dora the Explorer. Once again, these things sound ridiculous until you dive deep and really truly understand and accept, again, what we're living under. And what exactly that is, I may never have the answers here, but knowledge is power. And those who censor this work certainly want to strip that power from you. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.